Good morning. Hope you attended the live stream yesterday, and I would recommend it because when I have a good day, you're going to have a very, very good day. Yeah. And I can't really do 100% Telegram service while I'm doing a live stream on a Saturday. If you're going to be trading on a Saturday, I don't understand why you won't be going to the live stream. You could even just have it as something to listen to. If you're going to be waiting for Telegram alerts, you can quite easily wait and listen on YouTube. We've got far, far more. So please do come. The next live stream might not be as killer as yesterday's was. The only way for you to find out is to attend. And we're going to need a bigger green screen section in future if it carries on like this. And I even left you with an 8 p.m, 9 p.m. one. I told you to look out for matches 7:45 and onwards. Well, the other teams I was looking out for, AC Milan already took the lead against Lazio, but Marseille, Toulouse conceded first, and Toulouse do always have that goal threat. But as a trader, if you follow what Michael Pigeon says, you eat your greens at 2-1. Ample time to take an excellent profit on a normally very, very reliable side at home. That home support must have been going absolutely mental with that late 2-2 from Toulouse, who do have a 2-goal threat in them. That's always in the back of their minds. Let's have a look at some other green screens yesterday. Barcelona Alaves. My thanks must go to Bosun for reminding me Barcelona kicked off a little earlier. I had it in the back of my mind it was a 5 p.m. kickoff, and logically you'd have thought that with a side as big as Barcelona to avoid clashing with the Premier League. But in this regard, it was an early goal for Alaves, and our search as traders is for value, and I saw some value in over 2.5 first half goals at 2.06. An absolute steal. Remember, a goal has already been scored by Alaves. This was the 1-1, and I was out. They actually got the 2-1 before half time, and you would have made pretty much double your money. That's what a evens shot is, 2.06. Fabulous stuff. Wrexham and Blackburn. Well, my thanks must go to Bosun. Let's see if his comment is still there. And there we go. Wrexham versus Blackburn 0-1. Wrexham have scored in all 9 matches they've played at home so far. So this is the kind of community thing I love. We even got Enoch coming in from Ghana to say hello. John H with his excellent both teams to score, covering any scoreline to 0. Paul Dunwoody turned up to remind us Bayern Munich emphatic before half time. And it just continued on through as the match progressed. Middlesbrough new manager. This was great from Stephen Francis, reminding us of some matches where there was new managers involved. So you can see you won't be getting this on Telegram at all. If you're here to make money, attend a live stream. If you're serious about football trading, then you've got to be trading between 2:30 and 5 p.m. anyway on a Saturday. It's a very small time frame, but it encapsulates all of the elite leagues all in one streamlined timing zone, 2:30 to 5 p.m. Fabulous stuff. Oh, there's me yabbering on. How did we make use of this stat from Bosun? Well, we stuck it in the back of the old memory bank. And we decided to lay Blackburn at 1.09. That was cashing out at 24s. That's not too shabby, is it? We had in the back of our mind that Bosun stat. Boom. Now that is for a return for a liability of tuppence halfpenny. Let's be honest, fabulous stuff from Bolton. Luton and Blackburn and Bolton, I don't think there was anything there. Coventry, yet again, a second consecutive week of Coventry conceding first and pretty much delivering the goods before half-time. Absolutely superb of them. Brentford and Burnley, stick to your guns. 0-0 at half-time, not a bother. 3-1, I told you in the research, Burnley have absolutely crazy away stats, away scorelines, mostly over 3.5 goals. 0-0 at half-time. This was a £3 liability, for goodness sake, for a 30 quid profit on 3-1. They turned up, just as they did against Newcastle, scoring 3 second-half goals. Burnley got a goal in the bag. Boom. You can call me Mystic Meg if you'd like. Bayern Munich and St. Pauli, there was little value to be had here. We were attempting to do what we did with Barcelona, first half goals market. Barcelona far too efficient. Bayern Munich just got the equaliser before half time. I was trying to drip back as well. Should have gone 1.5 goal market, looking for better value in the 1.5 goal market. This started the day. Sheffield United taking a 0-3 lead, and they are a side full of 3 goals. Suddenly, from out of nowhere, we got a really good run for our money. You would have even got a 5x return on that liability at one point at 3-2. So it's all dependent on how big you want your liability to be. The bigger your liability, the bigger your potential reward. It's as simple as that. But then the bigger your fall. That's why you don't worry about £2.28. Could have made a tenner out of that. Doesn't sound like much, but it's 5 times your liability. Leicester got from 0-3 to 2-3. Ever so close. We had, I think, 8 minutes plus extra time for them to get that third goal. Strap yourselves in for a possible 55 quid profit for a very small amount. And it was a day where you just needed a bigger betting bank, or you needed to have an octopus next to you to get all of the opportunities that were available. Hashtag split, well worth laying the draw late on. Showed their momentum against 10 men to look for that 2-1. Didn't quite cross the line there. Seemed to me yesterday all of the teams you expected to win did win. I told members at least attending the live stream about all of these Desmond Tutus yesterday. When you have a whole clump of them, we had 4 or 5 of them in a row. Millwall, Saints, Leicester, famously Man City, Sunderland. Could have played the Man City late lay the draw yesterday as well. Sunderland and Bournemouth, I think we played in some capacity. No, I gave you an idea that you could lay Bournemouth 0-2 up because Sunderland's expected goals of 0.92 suggested 2 goals from Bournemouth was enough already. And indeed, look at that return there, superb. Didn't play Everton, Newcastle. I know would never be playing London derbies. This shows you the trouble Thomas Frank is in. He will be for the chop soon. The home form is just awful. And when you're losing to a Fulham with 5 or 6 consecutive away defeats, that's just awful stuff, isn't it, from them? Leicester and Sheffield United, as you can see, we nearly got that third goal, which would have been the cherry on top. Coventry getting the job done. Middlesbrough should have been a late play. As you know, Stephen Francis in the live stream did mention the manager, but I was tempted late on. What trumps everything else is what happens in play. And Middlesbrough were ticking all of the boxes. That was yet another trade you could have had quite easily. Millwall and Saints, Desmond Tutu coming in late there. Sheffield Wednesday and Preston, Desmond Tutu coming in late there. West Brom and Swansea, Desmond Tutu. The late Wrexham equaliser, thank you, Bosun. Fabulous stuff there. Don't think we bothered with League One. We didn't need to. All of the elites were delivering yesterday, which was quite something. Superb stuff. Similar story, English League Two. No need to fixate on this, but this was a Desmond Tutu turning into a 3-3. That 2-2 didn't come in. That 2-2 did come in and then turned into a 3-3. Competitive isn't the word. French League, wow. I wouldn't have played this. Monaco, well, you could have played it dependent on Monaco's opening goal. Did it come before or after half time, or how late did it come? 68th minute, Minamino, ex of Liverpool. You'd have had to cover that 1-0 in some capacity. It's as simple as that. And you'd have got away with it. You'd have actually made a profit with that 80th minute goal, 80th minute red card. So 68th minute, it's very difficult to cover that 1-0 without it costing you a lot of liability. So there was a trade to be had there. It would have been a break even. But the fact is, when you've made such good returns early on in your session, you can be extremely picky. And that's why I focused purely at 8 o'clock, had my alarm on to get up for 8, not to get up, but to be reminded of the Marseille match. Even though they drew 2-2, they were 2-1. And that's what counts. Bayern Munich eventually getting the win. Hoffenheim priced to win And again, 3 goals in the locker. Heidenheim didn't want to play this one, but they got the win, and they are very poor away from home. Werder Bremen keeping Köln tight. They did score first, so they're in no angle. Bayer Leverkusen, no thank you. Not going to be playing Bayer Leverkusen and Dortmund. You know why? It is a derby style match. This is a very touchy website. Just touch it and off we go. So I've given you the main ones. I'll be here all day with all of the opportunities. It was just a remarkable Saturday. And it's in Saturdays like this where your betting bank will take a really significant boost. Absolutely superb. AC Milan getting the late win. Juve and Cagliari, I wouldn't be backing them at all at those odds. Absolutely ridiculous. And I gave you Genoa as well in the live stream. But again, I was doubting myself. Verona, no win this season. Opening the scoring. Genoa with the recent 2-1 habit. Boom, coming in. I hope you followed that up, those of you who take my information and don't wait for me to do it, but do it yourselves. Brilliant stuff. Another Desmond. Barcelona getting the job done, having conceded first. Atletico Madrid, easy as you like. No need for panic. They're playing bottom of the league. Real Oviedo. And so you can see how touchy this website is. Boom. So this is going to be probably very much after the Lord Mayor's show. A wonderful, wonderful trading session yesterday. I will be only on Telegram today for you. We don't get the numbers on a Sunday, I'm afraid. I would do a session if I wasn't talking to myself and one bloke and a dog. It's just not worth it. Okay, so if you're committed, if you want to contact me and say, yes, I will be coming to a Sunday live stream, then I will put one on. But I understand where you're coming from. I am in this part of the world now on English time. Sundays really in the UK. It's having a Yorkshire roast and all that and sitting with your family. So I do understand where you're coming from. So I'd like to do a live stream. Maybe I'll do one next Sunday, a Christmas one. See how many people turn up. But I'm not going to be doing one today. It just is a bit debilitating for me as well when no one turns up and I provide such excellent information for you and give my time for you on a Sunday, but you don't turn up to the live streams. Next Sunday, I'll be doing one, I think, and we'll just gauge the numbers from there. Look at today's trading angles. So I'll be doing exactly what I do in the live stream, exactly the same techniques. Collect your odds-ons, or as near as damn it to, particularly in these leagues where you're not going to be doing research. Okay, we've got Club Brugge from the Champions League. We'll see whether they're in a going mood today. Czech Republic, Sparta Prague, usual short price selves. Poulsen, probably going to get a look in those two. But it's not a priority league. It's only if there's extreme solid circumstances there. Copenhagen, post-Champions League. Are they going to be in a mood today? Well, the market's telling you. AGF Aarhus against Copenhagen. They're not priced to win. Hoffenheim yesterday, priced to win, when last week they weren't priced to win. Do note that. Midlands, your usual old reliables. Vejla, over 2.5 goal old reliables. Tend to turn up with 3 goals or more within the match. So I'm hoping for Midlands to keep delivering. English Premier League, Crystal Palace and Manchester United. If you take the Crystal Palace Bournemouth result out of the equation, Crystal Palace are tough to score 2 goals against. Manchester United suddenly reverting back to totally and utterly unreliable against Everton's 10 men. So I don't know what to make of Manchester United. Not even favourites today. That's about right. Crystal Palace, tough nuts to score 2 goals against. Aston Villa and Wolves is a Midlands Derby, but Wolves are likely to be doing what they did last week and try to stay at 0-0 for as long as possible. It's totally negative football, but circumstances mean they have to revert to that. Aston Villa in electric form under Unai Emery. I think 5 wins in 6 or 6 wins in 7, something like that. They're going to be a tough side to beat today. Nottingham Forest against Brighton. New manager syndrome. Stephen Francis will be reminding us. So it's tough to read, but quite clearly Sean Dyche has got them scoring again. West Ham against Liverpool. New manager syndrome. Nuno Espirito Santo. And these odds compilers are still putting Liverpool as extremely short-priced favourites. We can totally ignore the odds. Absolutely ridiculous odds for Liverpool. If you're backing them at these odds, you need your head examined. It's a London derby, won't be playing. Be disciplined, okay? Anything can happen. Strasbourg, fourth in the league or thereabouts, proved themselves midweek as pretty good contenders. With 1.75 at home, I'll be happy for a bit of that. Hamburg and Stuttgart, you could see some value in Stuttgart, although I saw value in Leipzig against Mönchengladbach at similar odds, and Leipzig didn't deliver. But Stuttgart, full of goals. That's the only one really in the Bundesliga I'm interested in. The others will have to revert to the in-play stats, all post-European football as well there. There isn't much in the in SerieA to interest, but Inter Milan, Pisa are going to park the Leaning Tower. Atalanta are playing Fiorentina, finding it extremely difficult to get a win. I will be strongly favouring Atalanta here. So these two matches really stand out for me. This is a derby-style match, so I will be probably not trading Roma and Napoli. Pick our battles. That's the way to make solid profits. All of the big guns are out in the Eredivisie today, but PSV, Stephen Francis will tell you, managerless or new manager. This is a derby-style match, Twente and AZ. Give that a bit of a miss. And moving down to Spanish La Liga today, Real Madrid away from home got us that wonderful result midweek. Celta Vigo will be strongly seeking to end those 1-1 draws, and they have been successful in that regard with a 1-0 win last week. Usually it's by scoring 2 goals. These other matches, too tough to call on paper, but I have done the research for members if you want to look into it. AI has done the research for you. I'm not going to be researching these odds. It's a waste of my time and effort. Let's have a quick stroll through some of the standout expected goals. Members are getting all of these documents, and they're getting more today. I've done as many matches as I can with the research for all of the leagues. So even though I'm not keen on the matches, you might be keen yourself, and that gives you an opportunity to read the reports and the expected goals reports as well. Looking at Crystal Palace and Manchester United, you can see these two are overly reliant on their attack, creating really good quality chances to score at least 2 goals in matches. The corollary of that, they're defensively stout enough. You can see with Crystal Palace's 1.2 XG. Now, the evolution of XG, I hope, will start to break home form and away form separately, because this is overall form and it's not always that accurate. You've seen Pisa away from home or Parma away from home scoring 2+ goals. Suddenly at home they can't score for toffee. So this will be a goals, who scores most goals today, I would suggest. Aston Villa and Wolves. Well, it's interesting that season long it's been poor. That's because Aston Villa failed to score in quite a lot of their opening matches. So they're playing catch up pretty much. So this looks incorrect to me. This is biased by the opening matches of the season where Villa were failing to score. But 0.95 for Wolves is a concerted problem. If they do score, they're highly likely to concede. So don't be taken by that Aston Villa XG. It doesn't tell the full story. But Wolverhampton Wanderers, yes, that is a huge negative for them. If they do score first today, they're highly unlikely to follow that up. No XG report would be complete without looking at Arsenal's remarkable defensive XG. This is just superb, isn't it? XG against 0.51. How on earth are you going to score against them, for goodness sake? Only 7 shots prior to the Champions League match midweek conceded. 7 shots on target conceded in the Champions League. And they've got that 2-goal habit as well. Chelsea also create extremely good chances. This is going to be a bit of a humdinger, but Chelsea have this wall to overcome. You've got to favour Arsenal on that wonderful defence. So I'll wrap this up before the 20-minute mark. Do subscribe to YouTube. You don't want to be missing a live stream when I'm on it, because when I'm on it, you're going to make a lot of money. 14-day free trial as well. I sent the e-letter out yesterday with the Premier League research. 14-day free trial. Do join. Let's see if I can make you some cash. I'll see members later on for a full day's football on Telegram.